Oh, it's that time of the day again. Mario's aching for a good night's sleep, but can't since he has to move to a foreign place known as Rogueport in search of Peach who mysteriously disappeared. I imagine the events of Paper Mario 64 and the Thousand Year Door took place like a month in between from each other, and his eyes are bloodshot red from adventuring out of his mind these days. Once again, he is relying on us to rate all of the inns and beds he is able to sleep in to rest his weary soul, and based on how comfortable the rooms look and the beds themselves. Compared to the first game's whopping 11 beds, there are only 7 for Mario to physically sleep in this time. I guess there was a bed shortage in his region. Quick side note, for the sake of this video, I will be using the original version of the Thousand Year Door rather than the remake, because the original looks more colorful, just my opinion. With all that being said, let's go to sleep. I mean rate the beds in Thousand Year Door. The first bed/inn is located in the very heart of Rogueport. This humble and worn down 2-story building that shares space with the town's pub downstairs and the town's inn. In terms of atmosphere, I admit it's not the most luxurious place in the world, but I respect the locals for making the best out of a bad situation. As you can see, the room is quite spacious as they provided 2 beds with their own nightstands, 4 windows to let some fresh air in to get rid of the musty smell from the smelly sheets that I assume are not washed. There's a little table on the left side to read a bit with a little lamp. Be mindful of the leaky ceiling that has yet to be patched up, and the innkeeper has to use a bucket to collect the droplets. This may cause potential problems for the building like mold due to the moist spots. I like how this room has direct access to the bat shop in case you want to stock up before departing on your long and laborious journey, but the way to the shop is actually dangerous, as there's no railing in case people fall off from the roof. The guests probably had to sign a waiver before sleeping so they can't get sued. Although, this place has the bare necessities like a bed and a roof. It is also equally hazardous for those who are clumsy, but it's not meant to be lived in forever, so I guess it's okay. I rate the inn house at Rogueport a 59 out of 100, because it looks a bit comfy, but risky to stay in. Next is the lovely floral town of Petalburg that prides itself in maintaining the freshest and prettiest flowers on display to reflect their love for nature. It's a huge contrast from Rogueport's lack of greenery and disgusting conditions. However, the inn here is surprisingly cramped compared to the previous inn's spacious interior. I guess they had to make compromises somehow. The room itself is complete with the impressive brick fireplace with a small picture frame, a decent sized wooden bookshelf for, well, books, a hand-knit rug I'm assuming, the bed of course which seems to be crafted with the softest materials to ensure the guests snooze away, a simple table with a vase of flowers, and a window to let the sunlight in to make the room even livelier. Despite being a little on the cramped side, I still think it's a pretty comfy and compact room that's designed for a quick nap. I rate the inn house in Petalburg a 89 out of 100. I deducted some points for lacking decorations. Next is the Glitz Pit Minor League locker room. This is essentially the beginning league when you're registering to fight in the Glitz Pit arena to climb up the ranks. In this room, this is basically a roughed up and neglected place that is destroyed beyond repair and dirty. It serves as an incentive for fighters to try harder to earn their way out of this gross and moldy room. There's only one bed to share among the sweaty fighters, and I'm pretty sure they don't clean the sheets at all. There's a bunch of lockers and a long bench to sit on, and another room filled with nothing but documents and boxes. I wouldn't stay here any longer than necessary, so it's best to keep winning fights. I rate the minor league locker room a 15 out of 100 for being unsanitary and neglected, which are huge turnoffs. Next is the major league locker room. As the name implies, this is a major upgrade from the previous room, which is supposed to serve as a reward for fighters training hard to proceed to the next big league. It has a calming red and beige checkered pattern flooring, a cleaner bench, intact lockers with the item inside, a cleaner bed with actual privacy, a bathroom that is locked from the inside. In terms of atmosphere, it's so much more luxurious and would love to nap here. Just be careful not to eat any suspiciously delicious slices of cake being brought here. I heard a certain blue Koopa got food poisoning. I rate the major league locker room in 85 out of 100. I deducted points for the risk of food poisoning from the cake, and that the locker room could use some more accessories like weights or other training equipment rather than looking barren. Next is the champion room for being the champion. This is the ultimate pad and it shows. It provides the softest carpeting to grace the feet of the champion for working hard. The room is filled with an abundance of presents from fans, a giant portrait, a dresser with stuff inside, some equipment, and of course the main attraction of the room, the leopard colored bed with the best materials available to make it. There's also a vent you can crawl through that leads to Grubba's office if you feel like sneaking around. The room is nice and all, but I feel like it could use some more decorations to liven the place up a little. I'm sure Mario will take care of that soon. I rate the champion room an 89 out of 100 for being the ultimate room. It just needs a big screen TV and hookups to game systems and other entertainment stuff and you're set. Next is a dreary and gloomy town at Twilight Town known as Twilight Town's Inn. For those who haven't transformed into pigs yet, this little safe haven will try their best to soothe any weary and anxious hearts of the townsfolk who are struggling enough to get by as it is, and fearing they will transform into pigs on top of that. Talk about depressing, but the inn itself looks kinda comfy. It has its own fireplace, a shelf for stuff, some tables with lamps, and of course the bed. Nothing too fancy, but sometimes that's okay. And considering the townsfolk's situation, I expect worse conditions. I like how the innkeeper gives you a free peach just for sleeping. Free items are always a plus in my book. I rate the Twilight Town Inn a 70 out of 100 for being slightly comfy, and the free item grants extra points. Next is the inn at Keelhaul Key. This is basically a tent set up by the Toad innkeeper who boarded the ship along with everyone. You know, for someone on the short side, she did a pretty good job establishing a makeshift home with a proper bed and table with lamp and a couple of barrels. It's a temporary safe space to keep everyone refreshed and well rested. I think anyone will fall asleep quickly after hearing the waves crashing and seagulls squawking. It's free ASMR on top of that. Other than that, there's not much to say about this tent. I rate the inn at Keelhaul Key a 49 out of 100 because there isn't much to it, but it's impressive given what little resources they had. Next is Poshley Heights Royal Poshley Park Tower. This is essentially a high-end super fancy hotel for wealthy and powerful figures looking to rest themselves who are tired from carrying their huge stacks of cash everywhere they go. I like how you can ride the elevator up to your room and is a private suite with a fancy chandelier, drawers with pretty pink flowers, a lush bed with quality materials, a broad window to peer down from the tower, and a nice painting above. It's a little small but still sleep-inducing and very clean. I think wealthy people only come here for a brief period as they have their own mansions and whatnot, and this hotel is for people wanting a taste of the rich life. After sleeping, the housekeeper drops off a delicious omelette meal as breakfast, which is quality service. I rate the Royal Poshley Park Tower a 94 out of 100 for the food and view and bedding. It could use more stuff, but it's nice as is. Next is the XS Express cabin room. I personally always loved this part of chapter 6 and wanted to ride this train specifically. I love how roomy it is to complete with the bunk bed, 2 chairs, a nightstand, a window to admire the view, a lamp and table. I think there are a couple of stuff inside the drawers themselves, which is nice. If it weren't for the whole train mystery and giant monster invading the train and whatnot, I would have loved to stay inside this cabin and watch videos on YouTube or play games or something to pass the time and meet up with others to eat. It sounds like a pleasant travel experience. I rate the XS Express room a 87 out of 100 because of the view and decor. Next is the Fahr Outpost Inn. In the midst of the freezing cold, this cabin was designed to keep the residents nice and toasty, with a boiler, dressers, bed, table with hot cocoa. I'm a sucker for super comfy places like this when it's cold outside. As a bonus, there is a giant cannon that shoots you to the moon if you're up for an exciting adventure after taking a nap. The innkeeper is also nice enough to give you space food after waking up. I assume it's supposed to be a candy bar since it has nougat in it, which sounds tasty. I rate the Fahr Outpost Inn an 85 out of 100 for being warm and nice. Well, I think Mario would have no problem sleeping after finding all sorts of places to nap. He deserves it after all. I think these are all the available beds for Mario to physically sleep in. If I'm missing some, please let me know in the comments, and thank you for watching. Do you agree with my reasonings? And please like and subscribe for more videos like these if you want to.